Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something pretty fascinating, a real contradiction, you might say.
Yeah, this tension, isn't it?
We've got these source materials, really deep theological stuff, talking about this incredible gift, so huge, so free, that it basically, well, it overflows everything.
Right. It almost sounds like, kick back and relax time. If grace is that abundant, why bother?
Exactly. But then, here's the twist. The same sources describing this massive, unearned grace, they immediately turn around and demand this constant, moment-by-moment readiness, vigilance.
And that's our mission today, isn't it? To figure out how those two fit together.
We're following a thread through some powerful readings. We start with Paul in Romans 5, big picture theology.
Yep, the macro view.
Then we move to Psalm 40, which is more about the heart's response, that internal shift.
A personal commitment.
And finally, we land on Jesus in Luke 12, giving these really specific, almost urgent instructions about being ready.
So the big question is, how does this overwhelming gift, this overflowing grace, actually require us to be so intensely watchful?
Let's dive in where Paul starts with the diagnosis for everyone, Romans 5. Yeah. He lays it out pretty starkly.
Oh, absolutely. Through one man, sin entered the world, and through sin, death.
And thus death came to all men. That's the baseline. The original problem, you could say, universal.
It's the starting point. But Paul, crucially, doesn't stop there. He brings in this amazing counter-argument. It's all about scale.
Right, like a comparison. If the problem was huge, the solution has to be even bigger.
Exactly. He uses that phrase, how much more? If one guy's mistake led to death for everyone.
How much more did the grace of God and the gracious gift of the one man, Jesus Christ, overflow for the many?
Overflow. That's the word. It's not just patching the hole. It's flooding the whole area with something better.
It implies more than just restoration. It's like a surplus, an abundance that completely dwarfs the initial loss.
And this is where he draws those two big parallels. You can almost think of them as theological equations.
Okay, what are they?
One transgression leads to condemnation for all. Simple, harsh math.
But then?
One righteous act leads to acquittal and life for all. The opposite equation, just as universal, but infinitely better.
Acquittal and life, not just getting off the hook.
And it leads to this really staggering idea for those who receive this gift. It's not just about survival.
What is it then?
They come to reign in life through the one Jesus Christ. Reign.
Reigning implies, well, authority, doesn't it? Power. Not just being forgiven, but being elevated. A totally different status.
That's fundamental shift right now. It's huge.
Okay, so if the gift is that big that we actually reign in life, here's where my question comes back.
Go on.
Paul doubles down, saying, where sin increased, grace overflowed all the more. Doesn't that sound a bit dangerous? Like, does it matter what we do if grace just covers it and then some?
That's the critical point, isn't it? It sounds like a license, but that's not Paul's aim.
So what is the point then?
He's establishing that grace is now the supreme power. It's one. The justification is total. But, crucially, how do you respond to being made royalty, essentially?
You can't just sit back on the throne, I guess.
Exactly. The grace is the foundation, the absolute given. The life you build on it, that has to be intentional. It demands a response.
Which brings us neatly from the sheer size of the gift to, well, what kind of heart is needed?
And that's Psalm 40. It shifts the focus entirely, away from cosmic balance sheets right into the human heart, the personal desire.
If we've been given this incredible status, what's the attitude that goes with it?
Well, the psalm immediately pushes aside all the external stuff. Forget the old rituals.
What do you mean?
It says, sacrifice or oblation you wish not. No burnt offerings, no sin offerings. It basically bypasses the whole traditional worship system, the visible action.
So if not actions, then what?
Receptivity. The key phrase is ears open to obedience.
Ears open. Not hands busy. That's a big shift.
It's about the posture of the will, not the labor of the hands. It's saying the true response to this immense grace is all internal.
And it's rooted in delight.
Yes. My delight is to do your will, and your law is within my heart. This isn't about gritting your teeth and obeying. It's about wanting the same thing the giver wants. Joyful alignment.
Okay, so internal delight, willing obedience, but does it stay internal?
No, and that's important too. This internal change demands expression. You can't keep it quiet.
How so?
The psalmist feels compelled to announce justice in the vast assembly. Can't restrain the lips, he says.
So there's a public dimension too.
Absolutely. And it connects directly back to Romans. The obedience isn't a chore, it's the natural, grateful outflow of receiving that grace.
Right. It leads people seeking salvation to exult and be glad and shout, "The Lord be glorified."
It's the evidence, the fruit of that justification, a life marked by willing obedience and public joy.
Okay, so we've got the massive gift from Romans and the grateful, obedient heart from Psalm 40. But how does that look on a Tuesday morning, practically?
Yes. The practical application, that's where Luke 12 comes in, with Jesus's very direct, very urgent instructions.
This is where the vigilance piece really gets specific.
Totally. Jesus moves from theology to, physical readiness. It's not gentle advice. It's almost like a military command.
He says, gird your loins and light your lamps. Let's unpack that imagery.
Okay, gird your loins. Back then, it meant pulling up your long outer robe and tucking it into your belt. Why?
To move freely. For work or travel or action.
Exactly. Be ready for immediate action. No loose ends. And light your lamps.
That means being ready for darkness, right? For an arrival when you least expect it, even late at night.
Precisely. Prepared for the inconvenient, the unexpected, and the analogy he uses reinforces this.
The servants waiting for the master.
Yeah, waiting for him to come back from a wedding feast. They can't just be lounging around.
They have to be ready to open the door. When?
Immediately. The second he knocks. Even if it's middle of the night, the second or third watch those really late, difficult hours.
So vigilance isn't just being generally aware, it's being instantly ready at the toughest times.
That's the standard. And this urgency, it links up with the other reflection sources too, doesn't it?
Yes, the Alleluia verse from Luke 21 defines it. Be vigilant at all times and pray that you may have the strength to stand before the Son of Man.
Pray for strength. It acknowledges this is hard.
And the daily reflection adds another layer. It clarifies that this vigilance, this readiness, isn't about fear or anxiety.
What is it demonstrated by then?
By love, faithfulness, and service to others, continuously. Being awake in spirit means living each day purposefully, prayerfully. It's actively living out that commitment we saw in the psalm.
So it's an active, loving readiness, not a fearful waiting.
But here's where the whole narrative just flips, and it's maybe the most stunning part of today's readings. The reward for this vigilance.
The Master Surprise Act. This is incredible.
Jesus says, if the master returns and finds those servants ready, what does he do?
It's almost unbelievable. The text says he will gird himself.
Wait, the master girds himself? Like the servants were supposed to?
Yes. He adopts the servant's posture, then he has them recline at the table.
The servants sit down to eat.
And then proceed to wait on them. The master serves the servants.
Wow. You really have to let that sink in. The one with all the authority, the one they were waiting for, turns around and serves them. The roles are completely, utterly reversed.
It's breathtaking, isn't it? It's the ultimate picture of that overflowing grace from Romans.
How so?
Because the life we reign in, through justification, isn't just about being pardoned. It leads to the state where we're so valued, so honored for our faithfulness, that the Master himself serves us.
So their readiness wasn't just about avoiding punishment.
Not at all. It was an act of faithful love that earned them this unbelievable intimacy and honor from the Master. He becomes their host, their waiter.
It suggests the whole point, from the initial gift through the heart's alignment to the daily watching, is aimed at entering this kind of relationship. A relationship redefined by grace and, maybe surprisingly, by the Master's humility and service towards those who are faithful. That period of waiting, of vigilance, it's the prep time for this ultimate feast of reversal.
What a journey we've taken then. Started with this huge, almost abstract theological concept of overflowing grace.
Yeah, the cosmic scale in Romans.
Moved to the personal, internal response, that willing, delighted obedience in Psalm 40.
The heart's alignment.
And then landed on these very concrete daily instructions for readiness in Luke. Be watchful, be ready.
The practical vigilance.
Which, amazingly, doesn't just end with a job well done, but with this shocking role reversal, where the prepared servant becomes the honored guest.
So the takeaway for you listening has to be this. The sheer scale of the grace we're offered justifies, even demands, a whole life lived differently.
It's not optional.
Right. And that difference is shown in a daily stance of active devotion, readiness, grounded in love and service, not fear.
So the question becomes personal, doesn't it? Always. How are we lighting our lamps today? Is the life we're living one that reflects the vigilance needed to receive? Well, this unimaginable reward.
And maybe here's a final thought to really mull over, something that just hangs there from that gospel reading.
What's that?
If the ultimate response of the Master to your readiness is to humble himself and personally serve you.
Hmm.
What does that truly reveal about the nature of reigning in life?
Is the peak of eternal life actually found not in ruling, but in being served with such profound humility by the ultimate authority?
It's a staggering thought, the humility of the reward itself.
Definitely something to keep thinking about. Until next time.